What is up, everybody? We are here with Zero to Hero Season 2, Week 2, and we are with Van Doan from NorCal. How are you doing, Van?
What's up? Doing good?
How's your week been?
Been all right. I'm staying at work pretty late though, as you can see by this stuff.
Ah, did you, how'd you do? How'd you perform?
At
Did you go to anything this week?
Oh, I couldn't go to anything this week.
Ah,
I had girlfriend time.
okay.
Yeah,
I had girlfriend time too, so I
yeah,
couldn't really hang out.
yeah. Why can't they just go to tournaments with us?
Yeah.
They probably could, but
I'm
it'll
pretty
be
sure that you had a good time.
yeah. Yeah, I
Alright.
had a good weekend.
So I watched your videos and I had some loose ideas on some like common trends and some weaknesses that I've noticed.
Hmm.
And so I thought we could go over zoning and like making better decisions.
Yeah,
And so do you remember what we went over last week?
mainly standing your ground, keeping the space, and controlling the space in between you and the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Did that help in any way?
Uh, I've I haven't had a chance to play characters like Puff, where I'm forced to play neutral a lot.
Okay.
But I've been thinking about it a lot, and it helps against Sheik. I have
Yeah.
to say, yeah,
I think this position is like the best spot, and I actually realized that I forgot to share my screen with you, so you
oh,
have
it's
no
fun.
idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm just going off context now.
okay. Because like this like magic position, right, is like so good against Sheik. If you get Sheik
Yeah,
stationary in this like down tilt thing, they really can't do anything.
yeah,
So we just want to talk about a few concepts, and then we're gonna just go over some match analysis, and then we can just dialogue and have fun and whatnot.
yeah.
So I just want to just talk about the idea of eliminating options, right? So if you're to try to assess like out of all these letters here, what option to pick, and if your opponent has the same options and they have different interactions, like I don't know if we just picked a letter, right? Out of the array we have here.
Let's go Z.
Z, right? Um, Chances are, like if this was a multiple choice test where maybe one answer works and maybe two answers are okay, we still have issues, right? Because 11 answers either don't lead to anything or um, it may hurt us, right? If it's a
Yeah,
multiple choice test with guessing penalty, it actually hurts us. So like we need to go from this like random sense of neutral where everybody has options, and this game state I'm talking about is like, let's say we're both dash dancing, right? I could do a bunch of things.
yeah,
I could run around, I could throw a hitbox, I can run at you, run away, I can pause, and so it's very chaotic. And if we're to choose a random option like rock paper scissors, I don't know the game of Spork, but it's like more complicated where we have like 14 instead of like 3 to 5 options, then it just becomes a random guess, and there's nothing consistent about it. You may win something, and then I may win something if we play rock paper scissors with 10 options, right?
yeah.
So what we really want to get in terms of game theory, and this goes with anything where it's competitive, is we want to eliminate these options, right? Like, what if we can somehow, eliminate options so that we have like a handful of options, right? And this could come from good spacing, good zoning, putting them in a bad position. Um, we can eliminate some of these options. But then how? And then if we add in a little more context, maybe you and Lord play a lot, and maybe you figured out, hey, like Lord likes to do these options more than others in this situation, so you eliminate some of them. You meet halfway, and then you realize, hey, like Lord doesn't like forward smashing, or I don't know, and then you eliminate it to a handful of options that they can do, and then you can form a game plan, right? Because if you know your opponent can only do a handful of options, like let's say they either shield or jump, right? Then you can form a game plan around that, right?
So high percentage plays,
Yes,
like the layup,
the
the
layup.
dunk, the
Yes.
dunk.
So we want to aim for these situations and aiming to find those situations. So because you can skirmish and have these 14 options, and that's something you're actually really strong at. I would say if you were given an array of tools and your opponent was given an array of tools, you tend to win over
Yeah,
50%. So it's not necessarily a bad thing for you. You're actually really good at it, but we want to get you positions that will get you like 80% of the time or
yeah.
90% of the time, as opposed to like maybe 55 to 60.
That's ironic you say that because I suck at the ditto.
You suck at the Ditto.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm like talking about just like characters both having like a full array of attacks.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Dittos, I can see how that may not work in your favor because it tends to get into very the standard linear play, right? Because you can't
Yeah.
be too fancy, or else you're gonna
Yeah.
get punished by just like fundamentals, like down tilt. If you jump, like you're screwed. If you throw a forward smash too much, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So we want to really find like what gets us those zones. So as we kind of touched upon last week, every matchup has ideal zones in which your character will thrive against your opponent, and this may be based on your hitboxes and ranges, percentages, because there's different risk and reward. Sometimes with different attacks, they're better, at certain percentages, maybe not so much early, maybe their kill moves, and then you have to know what their hitboxes and ranges are. You have to look at how their mobility is, and like what the stage is. So it's some combination of that.
Yeah.
So I looked at your match with Kenny actually stood out the most to me, even though like for some reason it cut off the recording.
It did.
Yeah, it doesn't get to the end, but I'm gonna point. I think it highlights many things for me because, no offense to Kenny, I feel that you're based on playing both of you guys. I feel like you're a better player, but
I
maybe
actually, I generally beat him in most of our sets,
Yeah.
but they're usually closer than the one I sent you. I just want to show you a set where I just play, where I just get destroyed, basically.
Okay.
Just for context to the stream, I get double 3-stocked in the set.
Oh dang! So we only see one match, and to be honest, it was just I felt a lot of it was just because we weren't attacking from the right zones, and
Yeah.
that's like one of the most important things. So we'll show like a video of you, and then I'm gonna point out some things from some sets from Pew Pew that I really observe, and from like top level play. So in this picture here, you guys both have all your options, right?
Yeah.
And so like you guys can dash dance, right? But as we know, like, so Falcon's neutral is kind of questionable, right? But his best spot and where he thrives is when he has access to dash dance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you probably, I mean, unless it's Lord, who like, I don't know why he does well on Yoshi's and everything.
Yeah.
But like the fact is, like, when Falcon's dashing forward like this, like he can reach you, right, with that nair.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to beat that, from what I noticed.
But at the very least, he doesn't have to. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to throw it out.
Yeah, he doesn't have to.
But the fact is, like, he can threaten you really
Yeah.
far away, and that's kind of scary. And so, but if we can eliminate that, then we get really good positioning. And I'm gonna use Falcon because I love playing against Falcon and murdering Falcon, and I feel like I understand the dynamics of Falcon are what help articulate some of the points.
Falcon is a good character to learn from,
Yeah.
I'd say. Because he's at the weight where he's not a spacey, but he's sort of spacey. And he has
Yeah.
a neutral. He has a neutral, which is like almost as good as Mars, but not as good.
And so for Falcon, like, his strength is his mobility. Like, a dash dancing Falcon has like long range and a big stage presence, right? Like, if you want to get in, right, like, you may suffer like a wall before you can actually get in, and that's because he can dash dance. And that's why his dash dance is strong, and that's also why your dash dance is strong too, because you can threaten too. So if we're gonna fight at this full range, the one thing I don't like is that any overcommitment from you or him can lead to very disastrous results in this matchup, as you probably noticed, right? Like, if you throw out an aerial, or you jump too early, or you throw out a down tilt and it's incorrect, like, you're screwed. Like they can stomp you, they can do a bunch of things. And so that's where I felt like it was really inconsistent for you, where you would somehow get hits, he would get hit sometimes, and it just seemed really sporadic, and it just seemed like kind of random almost. It's like, oh, like, is he going to throw a Hail Mary, or am I going to throw a Hail Mary? So we want to turn like this interaction where, think of it this way, we're not really competing for hits here. We're competing for small gains. We're not aiming to get the home run unless they're really bad. If they're really bad, like, then you can get whatever you want at whatever distance and you'll win because they're bad. They'll throw out stupid attacks and do whatever they want. What we want to aim for are positions like these, where
there's nothing you do.
Like, if Falcon's dash dancing, right, like, he can go all the way here and all the way here. But in this isolated chamber, this is all he has. This little box. And he can roll. So going back to the analogy of choosing options, it becomes very easy to just say, okay, you can roll, you can jump, or you're going to get hit. And these are the zones we want to compete for. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you just want to keep it in the whole box?
Yeah. And so, like, you have reactable windows, right? Because they can let go, but they're going to get hit. They have the alternative of rolling behind, which you should have a game plan for. Like, if they roll behind, you can react to it.
He doesn't want to roll behind.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I get what you mean.
And so, that's one of, like, Falcon's awful zones. Just being in shield or losing his dash. Alternatively, like, I like to give the cooldown analogy. If Falcon jumps preemptively, because like you can always threaten here, right? He can threaten, and that's what makes him scary. But if he threatens and actually uses up his cooldown or attack, he has a cooldown, right? Because once he gets up here, he doesn't get anything else to do. Like, so you know where the hitbox is going, you know, like everything for the next like half a second, and then they land, and you can do whatever you want.
PPU's in a great position here, actually.
Yeah.
Because he's still crouching. If he gets hit by the second hit in the air, then he can just go crazy while he's still crouching.
Yeah. And even if it like whiffs, he lands, and then what is Gravy gonna do next? Or the
he'll just dash back or shield.
But then he doesn't really have much. He has like a delay in between the landing.
And I think his down tilt could probably poke him as he lands. Just going by the space between them.
Yeah. And so our advantage zones in this matchup can be described as this. We can dissect this, and maybe for you as homework, you can start thinking about like what are the advantageous zones against like every character, and what are you exactly looking for. So the way I dissected it for this matchup was a better zone for us, and it's going from top to bottom. Better meaning better for you. Is when Falcon is committed to a hitbox, a jump or a double jump or a shield or something that's laggy like a roll, then that's really good for us because they can't do much. What's something that's in between is if you can catch Falcon going from dashing forward and dashing away, or having to pause, like maybe on a platform, or they don't have any momentum, then that's pretty good for us because then we can invade his space.
So the general idea is mid-range, but still he's staying in the middle stage and him towards the edge. Yeah.
And then the worst position is like Dreamland Falcon, like just dash dancing, right? Isn't that like one of the worst? Don't you feel nervous about that?
But against Falcon?
Yeah.
I don't really feel that nervous against Falcon.
Oh, okay. So
but that's mainly because I know exactly what he can do.
Okay.
Just based off playing Lord a lot. So when I get hit by it, I'm like, yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That was me. Like when.
Oh no! Did you disconnect?
I could hit it, but I didn't.
Okay. You just like.
I can hear you.
Okay. So, but like the worst position is Falcon having majority of the stage and like full dash momentum. And the reason why is because in order to get, unless they're like approaching you, you have to do a lot of work to get to their space and get a hit. And during that process, you may get hit or you may die.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so fighting for good zones, right? This is probably like one of the toughest aspects of the push-pull nature of fighting games, whether it's Street Fighter, whether it's Melee, even like a board game like chess, or like even like Advanced Wars, right? Like fighting for space is like one of the most important things. It's like a tug of war. And so how do we fight to gain space without taking damage, or how do we not give up space is the most important thing that we need to look for. So we'll probably come back to it, but I just want to point out a few things with zoning, and hopefully, like, let's see.
That's
we'll
the
go to match.
Falcon's the one on the right. Yeah, that one.
Okay, different resolution, so I'm gonna have to adjust this. This is like unusually like widescreen. The aspect ratio seems off.
Yeah, something happened with my encoding while with Virtual Dub.
Okay.
I think the other matches are okay, but they have the sound is a bit off. But the sound doesn't matter to us. So.
All right, let's see. I just want to test something. All right. Okay. So what we're gonna do is just like look through matches, and I'm just gonna show like where you're competing at, and just like some patterns. So I'm gonna skip to 30 seconds. But
Sure.
if you notice by the timestamps, it's not the whole match.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So right here and here, I'm just gonna point out even just like the fundamental thing is that one thing I noticed from the get go is how much you run away.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back here. He had, let's see. It's like, and this is where like maximizing space comes in, right? So in this situation, Falcon has no forward momentum. So what we need to identify is momentum of the character. And so as soon as you target the jump, like he didn't have much momentum. So the farthest he can go is here.
Man, I should have just crouch canceled.
Yeah. But
Well,
what ends up happening, this
yeah.
is like a common pattern, is look at, instead of being here, you gave up this much space for him to now take over.
And now he has center stage.
He has center stage, he has dash momentum, and you have to fight for the stage back.
Yeah.
And so this is really important, and this is how we close the space, right? It's just these little subtle things of like, oh, like how do I like make sure like squeeze as much space away from him without actually getting hit? And that's like the toughest dilemma, right? Because if they, you know, mix it up, like it becomes really hard. But this is how we earn our space. All right, so let's see. Going back here. So for dash dancing, here's what you want to do, and this is, I'm not sure how much you're comfortable with dash dancing. Do you want to? I mean, does it fit your play style, or do you like doing it, or are you comfortable?
I'll do it if I need to.
you just like hitting. You like swinging. You're like, you're very influenced by Ken. Is what?
Yeah, Ken is my favorite player.
Yeah. Okay. Like I
think Ken is most of the people before O9's favorite player, I guess.
Yeah, I can tell your play style is very heavily influenced by Ken.
But I enjoy the dash dance game.
Yeah.
I think if I really put my mind through it throughout the whole match, I could get a lot out of it, based off my own game sense of dash dancing.
Right.
But it doesn't happen.
So here, like, you know, like, this is what I like to do. Falcons, actually, most people have set patterns, whether they don't like it or not. So I like to see, like, how at what point do they love to threaten. Some people are, like, immediate. Like, they just run at you.
Yeah.
And so let me go back here. So you have your first confrontation, right? And you guys both entered the dead space the first time. And you guys have both immediately ran away.
Yeah.
And so you got to keep that in mind. It's like, okay, like he likes to run away, and there's two options at this play, right? That it's like a rock paper scissors just for space. A, he can throw out a nair here and defend his ground, or B, he kind of panics and runs away. Now, if he does this, so what's your play in these two common scenarios? If he ends up deciding to nair here, and you know that he's going to do that in this dead space scenario, what would you do?
If I know he's going to do either option, if he does a nair, I would run up crouch cancel and grab him.
Okay.
And if he does the dash away, ideally I would do the down tilt. Just
Okay.
I would shoot the down tilt, but I like to do the dash attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to. There are some times where you catch him if he's slow on the dash away, and there's sometimes. What if you know for a fact that you're late on catching him with the dash attack? Because that sometimes happens.
I probably down tilt a little bit farther away from him as a threat,
Okay.
and see what he does.
Yeah. But if he keeps doing that and it's like null space, what I also recommend is that you follow him, because if his back is turned, what hitboxes can he throw at you?
Not a very good one.
Like the only thing you really have to react to is back air and stomp.
Down air. Yeah.
And those are.
And,
Go ahead.
He can do a really weirdly spaced up air, but other than that, he can't do anything.
So what we can do in the chase, and this is like closing space and taking stage, is to chase him, but don't throw out a hitbox.
Mm.
And if he panics, then he'll throw out a hitbox and you win, which is good for you. Or he loses a ton of stage before he can pivot and turn. both very positive things that you can get. So going back, I'm gonna go to like the last few slides, and so fighting for space, like just emphasizing like look for minor gains. Are they retreating? Are they committing? Are they throwing out hitboxes? And no matter what they do, there's always a counterplay to it. If they retreat, you take as much stage as you can and you bully them in the tug of war. If they're committing, then you learn, you use your footsies, you use your tools to outpoke them, make them throw out the move, and then you hit them. If they throw out hitboxes, same thing. If they're going deep into you, you read the movement, and then you grab or you dash dance and you outspace it.
That's the beauty of Melee.
Yeah. And that's Melee in a nutshell. Everything has a counterplay, and that's like the beautiful thing. And the counterplay is not always a hit. It could be taking stage.
One thing about the stage, I want to ask about. Why do you think MTK goes to the edge?
So Mew2King, he will force a situation here. So if he's here, and his opponent's here, right?
Yeah.
His knowledge of this very exact situation here, and the counterplays and the footsies involved is probably 5 to 10 times, like 5 times better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And so in this unusual situation that seems very disadvantageous, Mew2King wins because he understands the options and the plays here better than his opponent, even though his opponent has the upper hand. And also Legend Invincibility is like super overpowered.
That's true.
Yeah. So attacking when you're invincible, and the risk reward if you get a hit, and you can get a kill, the risk reward and the percentage of times he wins these situations are so great that it's good for him against like 99% of the population.
Ironically, the 1% is the one keeping him out of first place.
Yeah. So like, you know, like the top players, some of the foxes that can steal the ledge, like they can outplay him, but very few.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Little ballsy here, and that's one of my like really like risky. So that dash dance grab is actually like really scary for me. Here, let's see, one. That's like really scary.
Oh,
for me. And mainly because you're going all in on what's like random, and he has many things that can counter your grab.
I think I should have gone more all in. No, I was kidding. Because he's so close to the edge. He can't do anything, right?
Yeah, but you could have sealed it with possibly like...
I probably should have poked him more.
Yeah,
or something.
Poked him and then force a shield. And then you have an even stronger zone. So it's like a minor checkmate to like a super big checkmate.
So it's the instant gratification problem.
Yeah. And instead, what ends up happening is you turn a position that should have, in theory, led to an eventual open up. Like here, like if you just like hold your ground here, but because you're in whiff animation, he's able to cross and go around you.
Yeah.
And you end up somehow getting hit.
I actually have like a bunch of frames where I'm actionable before that. It looks like.
But it puts you in a little bit nervous spot because now like okay, like I'm vulnerable, like, and you have to react a lot more in that state.
So it's still a that negative situation.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Did you think he was gonna go that YOLO, or what exactly happened?
I don't know. My reactions were pretty off.
There's no honest way that he should hit that.
My reactions were very off during that set, and I wasn't respecting him.
And you jumped into him.
Yeah. Man, this is pretty painful to watch.
Yeah. All right.
Usually, I feel pretty confident against Falcon.
All right, so you guys are both like doing very questionable decisions. So, once again, we talked about this. There's no reason why he should be able to cross around you for free. This should have been like an up air, but it was late. And that YOLO side B saved you so much.
I don't know about that.
All right.
That should have been a forward smash.
Have you ever thought about down tilt into like regrab here?
Down tilt regrab against Falcon?
Yeah.
It should work.
Yeah.
But I've never been fast enough to do it.
Okay. Maybe
like I've practiced it for a pretty long time.
Maybe that's a tech. Because here, like, you're late, and you're blind reading here, right? Because like specifically, he has to stand there and shield, and you cover a couple options, but Falcons love to buffer roll,
Yeah.
and like you're 50-50ing here, and you end up getting grabbed from a very good position.
I should be crouch castling those jabs.
Alrighty. So somehow, like, you're either getting the corner, which is good for you, when you're getting him in the corner, or you're ending. So like it's like you're waiting for your hand, and you finally worked out a good situation where you get pocket aces, and then you somehow like blow it, and then like they get pocket aces, and then they're cashing in. That's like the way I view this whole match. Like you had two pocket aces situations where like you had him cornered.
He has me cornered. He did a full jump. No, I have him cornered. I run away.
So one thing, like, this is where like cashing in, you try to cash in too early twice, and I'll point them out for you. So you try to cash in there where you could have just like ran up crouched, and then when you see the roll, you keep running in, so you don't have to commit. The problem with whiffing, even a down tilt, is that you're not actionable for a while, and there's times where you could just get more stage. See,
this matchup is...
Oh, go ahead.
Can you replay that? 1 second. It was laggy for me.
All right. And then there's this situation where you're late here, and you could have probably taken a little bit more, because he stops momentum here, and what you could do is lock in a position here where he's really in a bad spot. And those are the checkmates we're looking for. But because you're cashing in just a little bit too early, you lost the lock zone. And now you're like getting pushed back. Oh, but you were saying?
I just said Skype was a bit laggy, so I didn't see the last few seconds. But you rewinded it, so it's fine.
Okay. And once again, this is just kind of holding your ground. And one thing I'm seeing is you're trying to cash in a little bit too early. So yes, he does whiff, but I think you need to know from playing Lord, right, that he's actionable at that point. And for you to run up and grab, you're going to be late.
I think I'm treating him too much like a fox here.
Yeah, and then once again, now you have you're in the corner again, and this is the second or third time where you have to fight for stage again, where you probably could have cashed in. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I made that Nair look really dumb, and then he wanted to punish. Is that what you call like a whiff bait? I don't know.
It's like a whiff punish. Like
I think in my mind I purposely reversed it to make it look like I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay, so once again, you have good zoning here. So here, let's see. And this is just like you're going too far away this time. So I'm going to point it out where exactly. So you have really strong position here. You can even just hold your ground. Like you can maybe just walk up slightly left and threaten with a walk to get that position. And if he jumps, you can hit him, right?
Yeah.
If he rolls behind you, you grab him. If he jumps up, you hit him. But instead, here's what you do.
They do like a way dash back?
Yeah. So you only cover one specific option there, and he just so happened to roll. But you do it again, and once again, like we've opened up this much gap again, where he can actually go up this close for free. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that worked that time, but the second time he decides not to roll. So once you see that shield up, you need to fight for like a specific zone, and that's probably right here.
Yeah.
Or if you could get back behind him, that's even better. And then it becomes a favorable mix-up where you can threaten with down tilt, or you can bait the jump and punish him, or bait the roll. But once again, this would have been optimal, and then you would have closed the gap, but instead you lost it.
I think I should make like a worksheet of every stage and like put in big black Sharpie place I want to fight for.
Yeah. I think that'd be really good. All right, that's like That was like really good. Poor spacing on his end. I think he
Yeah.
was playing a little bit too overzealous, and you were able to punish him. So he goes
It
deep
looks
that
like
one
he
time.
if I didn't do it. Yeah, definitely the grab.
Yeah.
I think that's the only kill I get this whole match.
That's so scary that you went up there, but he whiffed. All right. So once again, this seems to be a pattern. You're going way too far on his rolls, and I'm not, or on his shields, and I'm not sure if it's because you're scared or what.
Those shields?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but yeah,
I think I was trying to read the roll,
Yeah.
and I did, but I screwed up.
anyway, let's see.
I gave myself too little dash down space over there. It's
Yeah.
like
Because you're dashing back so far away, you gave Falcon all of his momentum back. So if we like just work this segment, right? Look at how much stage and control he gets in this 5 seconds, and he didn't actually do anything. It's you just willingly giving up space for free. One, run away, run away, run away, run away. Good hit. Run away more, run away, and look, all of a sudden you got yourself in a corner.
playing too scared in this matchup.
Yeah, it's because you're too used to Lord, man.
I actually play keep him like a mid-sized
Yeah.
distance.
But see how like once again like you subconsciously routed yourself far away.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is good. Up until like a second ago where he's here and you're here. But look at where you end up going in the next 3 seconds. Good. You somehow end up all the way in the corner again. Fortunately, he doesn't know how to close the gap very well either.
I have no idea what he hit me with before.
I think it was just like a random trade.
Uh,
Oh no, you're dead.
yeah.
Oh, that was awful, Di. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Alright. I think it's gonna come to an end soon. Alright. No, you end up in the corner again. Unfortunately, he lands on a platform. No, you run away so much and you get yourself cornered.
It's actually pretty funny watching slow motion.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
Alright. Super janky. I think I personally would go for something safer that combos in this situation. Where I would... If once I see that stomp, I'm gonna just try to string something along like an up air.
I think I should have crossed him up.
That would have been good.
Yeah. That was
No.
bad.
See,
Now he's
but
gonna kill me.
that's the random 50-50, right? Because if you guess right, you combo, but if he guesses right, you're dead. And so we want to avoid that if possible. And it's just because he waited.
That was bad too.
Nervous,
I'm playing terrible.
nervous sweat dodge. I mean, I can tell like a lot of it was like flubbing and like messing up and whatnot.
This is actually funny because I just beat Phil before this set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know why, but I was in like a weird state of damn. That took a lot out of me.
Feels tiring.
Yeah, and then I played Kenny right after, and it's like, yeah, I got this. I know how to play Falcon, and then he just destroyed me.
Were you just not focused, or what happened?
I overestimated myself.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I play with Lord a lot, so I should be good at the matchup.
Yeah.
And I think I am, but I didn't respect what I was giving him. So I'll say that.
That makes sense. Anyway, that's the end of the video. And I just want to pinpoint just like, okay, so we saw like what not to do. No offense or anything.
Yeah.
I want to just highlight like how much like pew
Have you
pew-
seen Cactuar versus Wizro?
Oh my gosh,
think-
that was so amazing. But I just wanted to show. I mean, that might also be a very good video. But I just want to pinpoint like how like much like Kevin gives Johnny no breathing room. So let's see. I'm gonna slow it down. All right. But look at how much he invades space. Like, from the get go, whenever they're on the same plane, look at how close he tries to get.
Yeah. He's always at this slightly mid range, but not close enough where
Yeah.
he can get hit. Yeah. And that's a good trade for him. Anyways.
Yeah. So look at how much Johnny's immobile like the whole time they're on the same plane. That was really bad. But even
Yeah.
here, look at how much he's forcing Johnny to block, or Okay, so
I actually think he may be going too Randy.
he's going a little Randy right now.
But I know I watched the set before, and he destroys him later on.
But he's a lot more vicious on controlling space. Like,
Yeah.
notice how like there's not like a wide gap like very often, or Johnny's pausing. So look at how, like
Yeah.
there.
So he's basically never full momentum.
Yeah.
Except
Johnny's
for him.
always stuck in shield, or he can't dash. Like even here, look at this spot. In this situation, you commonly try to bait the roll and run away to get free space. But watch this. He rolls. He doesn't commit to the down tilt. He runs. Look at how close he is to him. He's not giving him any breathing room. And that's how like he like closes space really well. And even if like I think he could have reacted to the roll here. But look at how like he resets position to even give himself a good position. So down tilt could have read the roll, but look at how Kevin respaces here.
Is he like throwing? Oh,
Right there, and he's in that magic distance just outside the whiff.
Okay. Now you can grab him, do whatever. I don't know if I agree with that, but it worked.
And even here, yeah, I think a grab could have worked. He may have been like a little scared of like a gentleman or something. All right, but look, once again, magic spot. Like Falcon doesn't have a direct hitbox on him. Fortunately, Johnny, gets a really good back air there.
Yeah.
But Johnny's doing pretty good in his stock.
Yeah. That's a pretty bad fluff. Ooh. Looks like bad stuff always happens to PPU when he's cornered.
Yeah. Because Johnny has the full right to dash wherever he wants.
Great punish.
Yeah. And then we'll probably go over like one or two more stocks, and then I think we get the point.
Mm-hmm.
Just like pay attention to like how much like horizontal space or momentum he gets. So obviously in vulnerability, like Johnny earns the full stage, which is what he should be doing on, in vulnerability, either get a hit or take the whole stage. But look at how like hard that whole sequence was so Johnny gets on platform, but look at how hard Kevin makes it to even get stage back here. Once again, he has no momentum.
Yeah.
And then he earns the neutral game punish here. He's late there though. But once again, like Johnny can't like get any freedom on the horizontal plane, and that's like the big thing that should be taken away here. Always force the shield or not dash dance.
How do you recommend recovering from your whiffs in this matchup? Like a flub or a screwed up grab, tech chase or something?
Okay, so if they can automatically punish you, right?
Like
then
that.
you really can't do much there. But then it comes down to like you have action frames and you want to observe what they want to do. Are they? I mean, it comes down to 50-50s. Are they a run up grabber, or do they like to throw nair? And it comes down to reading, right? Because we're kind of guessing what he wants to do when you're invulnerable.
Yeah.
I would say that's actually a pretty good question. Is also pay attention to your percentage. And sometimes this is what PPMD does: is he leverages things that won't get him killed. So, for example, against Marth, like if he's at like 120, right, he may shield because the shield's not going to lead to a kill.
Yeah.
But if he's at lower percentages, he may throw a spot dodge or throw a hitbox, and maybe it whiffs. But he's trying to leverage the risk reward of the situation to avoid leading to a situation where you can get killed.
Okay.
So it's like a weighted rock, paper, scissors, but not really. Like he's choosing the path that if his opponent chooses correctly, like he's not going to die.
So it's more of
Yeah. Like
there's still a chance you can die, but
he's choosing the path that would make it really hard to directly kill him.
okay.
I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's a great bonus too.
All right, let's see if like it continues to get just worse. But once again, like this is actually like a really interesting catch, and I'm going to point it out to you. So Johnny will dash in, but watch what he happens at the bend. He catches the reverse bend because you eventually have to dash away if you get too close and he feels threatened, and
Yeah.
Kevin catches him here, and once again he gets stuck.
Good reads.
So he knows he's a little. He knows he's a little, he knows he's a little late here, and I'm going to point it out. And this is where you can hold your ground. This is something we talked about last week. So catches it once. I believe Kevin misses a pivot here, but look at how he doesn't commit to anything, and he's just reacting to the situation. Johnny rolls away because he can threaten. Because if he rolls right, PPU can just get it, and he's still like holding his ground, but not the best example actually. My bad.
Yeah. It was interesting beforehand. Good example of him just standing still, though even though he didn't get anything out of it. He should be grabbing those. Oh, never mind. He was too far ahead. Oh no.
All right, let's watch one more stock. He also punishes really hard.
Yeah.
Risks the down air. So right now Johnny has access to dash dance, and he was rewarded to it because he had stage and a dash.
Yeah.
But even look the whole time, like Johnny has like no way to really gain momentum. Like
And he throws out that YOLO 4B.
yeah.
And then-
Like this whole segment, even though it looks a little sloppy, like granted PPU doesn't get the hit. Look at like how like much he doesn't let Johnny move.
Mhm.
Like that whole sequence, he messes up a tech skill there. But that should be like the recurring theme, and that's actually like what, honestly, like PPMD does a lot is like he just chokes you with like just making you like contained the whole time, and then he like
Okay.
hits you really hard. So yeah, that's it for that. Do you have any questions?
Have you seen PPU versus Lord? Their most recent set. That might be a good example for Falcon mains to watch. But I thought it was a cool set.
He's Lord actually played really well this set. I want to see what he can do, and it's all about containment, right? Let me see if I can go to a. Oh, he ends up copping out and playing Fox. What a dweeb. Okay.
It's only the first match that's Marth.
So there's like an interesting zoning habit, and this is I'm gonna just speak on the Falcon. Is that this is like maybe Johnny improved a lot since the Evo last year. I want to show
Oh, that was
you
from 2014?
Yeah, I want to show you the pinpoints of interaction, and this is the key difference between where Lord is successful and Johnny isn't, because I think PPU wins this. Is that you look at where Lord is subconsciously at. If like being stuck here and Marth being here is like the ideal zone for Marth, right? This is like the dream world Marth because you can down tilt. They can't do much. Their hitboxes extend like right here. It's not that good. Lord is consciously stopping like outside of detail range, where he still can do a more variety of options here as opposed to being stuck here, and that's the difference between Lord and Johnny's spacing. See,
I'll credit myself and Julian Cal for Lord spacing.
So yeah, even here, like, he's in the spot, but then he gets out of it. See?
Yeah.
And then now he can have access to dash maybe a little bit later, but it's still like he has options. Oh Lord, you are silly.
I'm pretty sure something else is going to happen in his head.
So notice once again, Johnny's spacing would be here, and this is what Pew Pew wants, but he's just outside, so he still has access to potentially dash or dash away. He has a variety of options, and he's not stuck.
What do you think was in Johnny's head for that spacing? What did he want?
I think he wants to get in, Fundamentally, he's not very good against against Marth. It's one of his weaker
Mhm.
matchups. So, um, yeah, I don't really know. I think he just is playing by intuition, and it's not
Okay.
really working out.
So it's just like Mango Marth practice. I don't know.
He doesn't really have much in general.
Uh,
Ooh, that was a really intricate spacing. So once again, it's a theme, right? You're starting to pick this up. Not
yeah.
in this space. He's just a little bit a smidgen behind, and that's his position.
But
Right,
as a
like,
Marth, I want to be closer.
yeah, you want to make it so that he has no access to momentum because, you know, when he's that far out, he has the option of getting dash momentum and opening up his space. Like he can if he's here, he can dash a little forward and threaten you. It's kind of interesting because here he could threaten you as well with Nair, but here, you know, he has the option of dashing forward and threatening you. He has the option of holding his ground. He has the option of running away. And when you're a Marthan trying to play off of that, if you guess wrong, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
Here, it's only one option. It's either or two options. It's you roll away, get the hell out, you shield, or you get hit. All of them not very good. See,
That was bad.
he was anticipating him going in, and he guessed wrong. So Marth has to guess right now.
And yeah, he was stuck in the behind position. Can't do anything there.
So Lord is playing the proper zoning on Marth, and it's pretty evident. Where now, it seems like, you know, with dash momentum, you know, if PPU tries to defend with a jump, because this is a 50-50 guess for him, it's either Falcon goes in immediately or he waits you out. And if you guess wrong, you're screwed. So, like, even if PPU walls here, you can go in and up air and immediately punish as Falcon. And if he doesn't do anything, then he can scare you and eventually take your space with momentum. There's a difference between running in and taking this spot and in narrowing, and there's a difference between that and being stuck here. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he ends up like just taking space because if Kevin throws a hip, if PPU throws a hitbox, he's gonna die. So takes all that space, and look at what happens here. This is the other alternative. Lord waits, he baits, and he gets a hit. And so, like, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't as Marth, and that's the scary part. And so, that's pretty much it. Does that make a lot of sense on the difference between Lord and
Johnny?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Johnny has gone a lot better at the matchup as opposed to.
There isn't that much Marth main practice in the SoCal, right?
Yeah, we only have Ken, who doesn't play like Marth, and
was there Fiction for a while?
Fiction for a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's spectacular. I mean, he's good at certain matches, but I wouldn't say like he's like the Moon or PPU level.
Okay.
And we have like second, third tier marts like Hybrid and Wieners. They're okay, but like they make a lot of mistakes.
Okay. I actually remember Hyper being really good. He beat SFAT like twice in one of these tournaments. I don't remember.
Alameda.
In NorCal.
It was the Alameda tournament. I ran that. So I mean, Hybrid, like, he has certain fundamentals that are really good, but like he will test certain things. Like his dash dance game on FD is like really unusually good. It's like almost as good as PP's, like his dash dance grab game. But like a lot of other things of his play is not as like top level.
Okay.
And plus he took a mini break, so that kind of sucks. So we can look at some other matchups real fast, but just want to really emphasize, you can threaten movement and force a shield or retreat without even throwing out an attack. So you don't always have to cash in. You can get an even better punish by saying like, okay, like he's scared of something and he's gonna run away. Well, now you know that, and you can take a lot more away from him without actually doing anything.
Okay.
And that's how we close the gap on a lot of people. It's just the mere threat of a hitbox should cause them to react, or else you can threaten them and they get hit. So we can look over another match. It's not saying that today's over. So experiment with so I want you to do is just like in friendlies or whatnot, experiment with moving around without throwing out a hitbox and seeing what you can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
You can theory craft a floating matchup of your choice and identify what your ideal zones are, and then I guess in that matchup is like how do we get to those zones, and what are the threats to us taking space and getting to that zone from the
Looks
opponent.
like this will involve a lot of me picking another character and playing around
Yeah, like
to get.
you can do Peach for example, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good example because that pretty, like if you're too far away from Peach, she can just throw turnips at you and you'll eventually take some damage. If you get too close, you'll get dash attacked, you get jabbed, you get down smashed, and so I think that would be a good matchup to Theory Craft. So let's see. We will go over. I actually like portions of your Sheik matchup actually. Let's see. For some reason, this is like really widescreened. I don't know where the dark space is.
On YouTube, or is it the video itself?
The video.
Yeah. I'm seeing it very lagged on Skype, but it's looking normal for you on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here, you guys are playing really fast. It's unusual to play back. So overall here, you're a lot more patient about not committing, and you're forcing Sheik to bait. But I think this the one thing that you could be doing as well, and this is like really hard to balance. Like sometimes a decent player can do one of three things: force a bait, take some stage, or like not get hit. But like the sweet spot is being able to bait, being able to take stage, and being able to not get hit.
So play like PP plays in this match.
Like just in general, that's like the perfect synergistic circle, and or just the ideal overlap. So even in this like beginning segment, it's really good that you're not committing and you're trying to force Sheik to bait. The only catch to this though is that you're not cornering him either.
Yeah.
So like you're kind of like making him whiff, but you're not like fully spacing optimally because like you're not trapping Sheik in any means.
So I'm not really threatening him. So he feels like he can do what he wants.
Yeah. And once again, he's taking your space more often than not. The good thing is, you're baiting him a lot, and you just like missed a few punishes, right? So like this one was pretty good. Like you just narrowly missed. So like baiting is also like really good. And sometimes you can take space, and they get really scared, and they're gonna fight back. And what you can do is pull back and grab him, and you get situations like these. You just got to make sure that you can punish it on reaction, or that you're in the right spot. You're so YOLO there. Once again, cashing in here. You're in a prime spot, actually, to go in and force a shield in down tilt.
Yeah.
Instead, you went for a forward smash that wouldn't do much.
Thankfully, he didn't get that much out of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, he kind of did.
Yeah. Oh, he got a lot of stage out of it.
Yeah.
So.
And you never really... Well, the counter was very fortunate, but you took 30-something damage on that whole sequence. Right, that's just tough. That's a mix-up. In this situation where like they're actionable, just take mental note of if you dash in, like what are they gonna do, and then I just adapt next time. I know that Lord mixes up really well, but against like other opponents, like if you dash in, they
usually spot dodge, or like the newbie or Sheik spot dodge.
Yeah. So what you could do here is just, as a non-risk, is just dash stands here, just outside of F-tilt range, and see what they do, and then take mental notes of what their habits are.
I'm thinking I can just like turn around and then way dash down or something.
Yeah. But take mental notes of what they're willing to do, because every Sheik is slightly different in that regard. So that's pretty good. Like that.
That was unfortunate.
You're doing well here. You held your ground. I really actually like this whole segment. That was kind of questionable. But you didn't let him get center stage, which is the important thing. Oh, that was really tricky.
I don't know how that worked out.
What I really like here is actually, this is like where like your dream zone is Marth is. Like, you're here, and the only thing there... So Sheik's hitboxes are like a shoebox. It's like this. Does that make sense? That's her zones.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense. She could fair F tilt here, or she can dash attack boost grab. And
So
when
she can't.
Go
She can't
ahead.
hit. She can't hit that much diagonally. I guess.
No, she can't.
Yeah.
It's really hard because she has to run forward, and if she runs forward, you can just react. And if she dash attacks, you can just run out of the range.
Okay.
And that's what you do. Good punish. Oh, that was really tricky. Good.
This is also unfortunate.
No. Why so greedy?
It worked on him before, so I was like, he's not gonna. It'll probably work again if I didn't.
All right, you're doing really good here. You held ground. Unfortunately, you didn't capitalize, but there were many opportunities for you to potentially get a hit. Oh no! All right, let's see how you lose this. So that you lose stage because this was ballsy. Okay. Like this so far. You get a little scared. That was kind of YOLO. You run away for some reason. No, you overcommitted.
Yeah. It's the Ken Nair.
The Ken Nair. This is
Yeah.
so hard. It does not work in 2015. You get eaten up alive and they like get in front of you. Yeah, you lose that whole segment on two things. Oh, very fortunate that you didn't do it. But you pretty much lost that whole segment because of the down air, and that kind of gives him room to work with. So that was like the first step of unraveling stage, and then doing the forward nair gave him enough.
I think I panicked a lot right after that down air. Like right after I did the down air, I was still kind of safe. I could have shielded, but then he caught me.
I really like this segment though. You got him a little scared. You forced a shield. Some people would run with more details, but then you got him to bait, and then you punish. And that's something that, like, if you're really good at spacing, just like dashing in and out, forcing shields, and then getting them desperate to dash attack or something, like you just run over Sheik at that point, because all of a sudden, like, they do stupid hitboxes, they shield a lot, and then they like panic and they're not able to move, and then that's where you open up their shielding, you open up their spot dodges, and that's where you just dominate Sheik. So once again, just good outspace. Like, Sheik really doesn't have much. It's like pretty... I know Sheik wins this matchup, but like her hitboxes are actually very telegraphed.
Yeah.
No. So YOLO.
I don't know what I do here. Quarter? That's okay.
Yeah.
Guess I'm off the stage.
Good. So this is like where I think Lord's lack of Sheik knowledge comes in, because there's no way like he should be going in that deep. Like he needs to be weaving in and out, and you're punishing him a lot. So yeah, you see how you're starting to open him up by like just being in like really good spots. So I'm gonna let's see. So there's that. But that spot where you force the bait is like where you just get Sheik to open up repeatedly. And that's where you harvest your gold.
Ooh, shield drop.
Oh no, you jumped for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, me neither. I should have grabbed him right after.
No.
I hate when that happens. Misspaced the fair.
So this is where you're in a bad zone, and he's capitalizing on you. You see that?
Yeah.
Similar to what we want from their opponents, but Lord did that to you, and he earned a kill.
Yeah.
So see how everything kind of builds up from just like good spacing before, or good zoning that forces hands?
Looks like I'm letting the moment. The spacing went to shift pretty quickly. I don't know. He DI pretty badly on that one.
He crouch canceled.
I think he was trying to attack it.
Oh, really good. I like that you escaped there. But there should be no reason why this should be happening to you. How do you lose that situation?
Oh, that's one thing I want to talk about. The punish game on Sheik. It's like, sometimes I think it's easy, sometimes I think it's really hard.
Okay, that punish wasn't too bad. I mean, a lot of it revolves around this. I always like to show this example. I know I know it's taboo to.
Is that PM? Oh, Brawl. At least it's a legal game.
Yeah. I just want to pinpoint something here. Let's see.
Just kidding, Project M people. Project M is legal. I didn't mean anything by that. Just want to throw that out there.
I'm gonna pinpoint them moment because the concept's very similar, and I feel like Snake epitomizes what to do. So this is a very classic situation here, right? Just imagine this is like Sheik, and you have a really strong up tilt.
Yeah.
Just watch how like Mewtwo kind of hovers underneath, like the whole time. Like, okay, so that's not applicable. Let's see where he goes on the next stop. I'm gonna see where he goes in high percentage. Alright, so this is like a very classic situation, and I actually like try to figure out how this like interaction works. It's a lot stricter because you can do multiple air dodges, but just watch how like Mewtwo is like properly spaced to just cover like everything while still threatening the whole time. He messes up there, but ideally what you want to be doing, going back here,
it was the back tab on your Snake video.
Okay, you're so smart. Is that if Sheik's ever in the air, let's see if we can find a moment. You did a pretty lofty punish.
Yeah, it was around here. Around after he takes this stuff.
Alright.
Yeah, that one.
So, what I really think about is, this once again goes back to like effective range, right? What can Sheik threaten me with? Even here, right? What's like she can threaten me with?
Yeah.
And what I want to do is this. I have to think. What are Sheik's remaining available options? Does she have a double jump? And can I bait it out? So there's going to be eventually a point where she drops lower, 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 and she has to come to a confrontation here. Either she's going to spot dodge or air dodge, or she's not. And there's a certain point where, like, you know how air dodge takes some time?
Yeah.
Like, if she interacts with your hitbox and doesn't spot dodge, you should always be in a position to say, like, okay, we were interacting here, I'm going to up air again. And that's how you should be spacing, is that you should always be, like, just, like, right underneath. And if she still has, like, momentum to go right or left, our goal is to herd her in a way that it would encourage her to go a certain direction, and to reduce the number of ways that she can get down. So if I were in this spot, like, I would try to encourage her to go this way by threatening
by going right.
By going right and forcing her trajectory left. I'm not necessarily throwing a hitbox right away, but once I can confirm that she can absolutely do nothing, then I throw out another up air.
What do I do?
So you baited.
I do it right away. Yeah.
You do this. This is good. So I'm going to point it out. And you are in the right zone for this one. And you have enough time because, like, if she does not double jump here, she's stuck. And now you're in a reset position. She just double jumped. She has absolutely nothing left. And what you just got to do is just wait until she gets into a range, and then you just hit her. It takes a little bit of timing to get used to, but yeah, that was kind of bad.
So I should have just waited at where she was going to air dodge and then threw an aerial. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to air dodge to the far right of the top platform.
Yeah. And what you could have done was like found a different hitbox that just straight up beats her, and you could have probably went here and fared.
So up tilt's not really that good unless she has no options left for recovery.
Yeah. The up tilt literally only covered this and Lord.
So teching, I guess.
Yeah. Lord knew to, get there.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I think I spend a lot of time like waiting and then up tilting versus Sheik, which doesn't work if she has the air dodge, the double jump, and another aerial right waiting.
I mean, what you can do is if I were to draw a map, like let's say like Sheik is like here, right? And like let's say there's platform here. If she's so far away, what I like to do is just do one full hop. But keep in mind, I always want to be in a position where I can land before Sheik. Because if I somehow jump over her and she lands before me, then I lose.
Something PP does is he starts the short hop and then waits until the exact last moment, and then does the double jump
Yeah.
up air.
Yeah, it's really good. So,
Yeah.
but the main thing you want to do is make sure that you're always closer to any form of ground than Sheik is.
Okay,
So,
that's
what
a little
I
harder on the platform stages,
I
but
like to do
yes.
is like short hop this way then, if like Sheik was going this way.
Yeah.
Short hop here. I'm not actually committing it to anything, but I'm following her as she's falling because as she's falling, I'm still falling and I'm still threatening her.
Okay.
Like, and if she gets too close to me, then wham. Like, so it does definitely take some reaction and some discipline. But if you can master that, especially on FD, you should be like racking up 70 on Sheik every time you get an up air or up tilt.
Mhm.
Um,
When I
so
think about it, it's like a more disciplined form of comboing a spacey.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a delayed combo, but in my head, like unless you like Sheik was like really just like smart or something, like you should be getting like a ton of follow up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like my thoughts.
That
Um,
was yeah. I don't know.
that was like really good. I think you have a reaction point here actually. As
Oh yeah,
soon
I
as
could
you
have
see her
upbeat.
let go of the ledge, just up B.
Yeah.
So once again, I don't understand why you gave so much stage here. Look at how much free.
Yeah, I
Right, you
faded
still
back
get
way
the
too much.
punish, but like there could have been a situation there
Yeah.
where
Where I
the
don't get the
Sheik could
punish.
have. You don't get the punish, and Sheik has access to half the stage.
Yeah.
No. Oh, wait, this is where you get the gnarly punish. Oh,
Oh.
you barely missed here.
Yeah.
Just missed space, but you should always be winning that.
Ah.
That was overcommitment.
Yeah.
But
I tried
Lord
to
did,
cover it.
yeah. So let's see. What I would do here is just short hop and don't commit, and then see how she reacts to it, and then
Mhm.
force her hand.
The short hop is really good
Yeah,
compared to full jump in air.
yeah. Once again, we got to work on this. From the line, she should not be able to get that much stage for free. No.
Okay, this is where it ends.
No.
Oof.
All right. Anyway, so I think I think we've hit a lot of recurring themes. I think just to recap, um, we need to fight for these good spots. We need to learn how to close space and not give it up. Um, Fighting from this and throwing out an option is bad. If this is possible for us, um, if this is possible for us, that's better because
Yeah.
we can have game plans around fewer options than rather than haphazard guessing. Um, Fight for zones, and then our homework.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty. Any closing thoughts?
Uh, don't swing too much, guys. As a Marth main, unless you're playing a matchup that where it's warranted.
Yeah. Alrighty. So that ends week 2. This
Yep.
will go up on YouTube.